we're coming to the end of the list now, and don't worry, we're getting to the car. We will reveal the cost of the car, and I want you to pause the video now and write in the comments what you think we paid for the car. Right, here goes. It's going. Sounds like there might be a bit of a misfire. Although it's not ran for a while. Oh, it sounds nice. Happy days. Oh, Chris, I hate to say it, but I think it sounds better than the red one. Had a little bit of a miss when I first started it, but it seems like it's smoothed itself out. God, it does sound good. God, it's running. More updates coming soon. Hello and welcome back to Autofunk. I'm Llewellyn.
I'm Chris.
And we are restoring the Barnfine ZR-1 featured on the Late Break Show recently. So if you've not seen the previous episodes, check them out now, otherwise there'll be spoilers. In today's video, we are going to do a big reveal. The big reveal is, we're going to tell you exactly how much we've spent on the car, and we're going to reveal what we paid for the car. I'm sure lots of you have been curious about the costs.
Been a few comments, haven't there?
There's been a few comments, so we thought, why not share it? We've got nothing to hide about it. And I think you'd be quite surprised at some of the parts costs, because I know some of you feel like we're doing a little bit of a sort of backstreet resto, cutting corners and so on, but I can tell you that we're really firing up the parts cannon and throwing everything at it. So we're going to go through the costs of the parts, and then we're going to reveal the cost of the car. But first, we're going to go back to the drive, and you're going to see where we are with the brakes. Join us again in the pub after we've given you the update on the brakes. Well, it certainly doesn't get any more British than this. I've got roadworks or something going on in the background that's making a noise. It's rainy, wet, cold and drizzly. And
normal for June.
Perfectly normal. Perfectly normal for a June early evening. But we've got stuff to do today, and that's to fit the brakes, and we're very excited about that.
Perfect.
Are you thinking that the first job then is to whiz these nuts off and then just place the discs on each,
yes, because the
corner?
calipers will have to go over the top of the disc.
Yeah, so we'll put the discs on each corner and make sure that they fit.
Yeah.
We're going to copper slip the backs of the disc. I'll whiz all these off. If you start unwrapping the discs.
I've got the passenger side rear right here.
We've left these loose for now, so we're going to get all the calipers bolted on and the discs on, and then finalise the position of the flexies. I'll just go and take the other nuts off.
Does it fit? Oh, it does fit. It does fit like a glove.
Lovely.
Look at that, shiny.
You'll need this.
But the locating screws are nowhere near, so we basically don't have any locating screws.
Well, the easiest thing to do is just bang a nut on it for now.
Yes. We'll bang a nut on it for now. You don't really need those screws, obviously, do you?
Like a glove. Look at
Front
that.
passenger side.
Excellent.
That's the locking nut, which is a bit annoying, but never mind.
Right, I suppose I better put some gloves on. These ones are much better than the others. We've actually upgraded. And I know that me wearing a watch really winds a lot of you people up, so especially for you, I've taken the watch off. It's upstairs out of harm's way. Right, let's go and see what Chris is doing. All got on this side as well, yeah?
So far, it's the same. Driver's side front. They've even labelled them so you don't put them the wrong way around, which is nice, isn't it? The amount of times I see cars where the flipping vents are the wrong way around.
Yeah.
Like, ugh!
That is the kind of thing I do as well.
Irritating. But,
So one more disc to do then. I think that's the easy bit done.
yeah, let's go to the pub.
That's on the cards, mate. Don't you worry about that. Whether we'll be going in this, I don't think so, but...
No, I don't.
Well, that already looks nice, doesn't it, with those discs on? Obviously, it's not all about what it looks like, but it certainly lifts the spirits to see lots of shiny parts being fitted to it.
Load up parts cannon.
Load up the parts cannon.
But I think these were needed, really. I think the idea of refinishing the other ones was probably a bit...
Well, the trouble is with that, there's so much other stuff to do.
But it's... And they're
for the
cheap
cost
enough as well, aren't they, basically?
Yeah, for the cost
They are cheap
saving, it's
enough.
not worth.
Same with calipers. I mean, they were so cheap, you'd struggle to get someone to refurb them for that price, really.
Yeah. So next step then is to bolt the calipers on.
Bolt the calipers on. So, have we got the bolts?
We're going to have to reuse the old bolts.
Yeah, have we got them?
They're in the passenger side door, I think. Door,
Right.
seat.
We have, this is where all the that other piston is it in here? Must be, surely.
They're the rear ones, and then they're the fronts.
Where's the other two then?
They might be in the other box or somewhere. Oh, they're in the caliper.
Oh, okay. In the caliper. What, the new caliper?
The old caliper.
Where's the old caliper?
The old caliper might be at Wimeswold.
Where?
In Wimeswold in the C5.
Is it?
Yeah, it might be. We might have to nip over. It's not very far. Let's do it. Not bolted it up yet, but that looks so much better. All of a sudden it looks...
Wow, yeah, now it's a race car.
Yeah, all of a sudden it just looks like a working car, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Happy days. Right, I'll get that bolted up. That's it. And that is one of the rears done. Looking very, very nice. New flexi. It's connected to the hard line. Just here. What a massive improvement that is. What's the aim of the game?
I want to put this handbrake cable
Yeah.
on the end of this
Yeah. How are you
lever
gonna
thing.
How are you gonna do that then,
So
Chris?
that needs to come down.
Go on then. How are you gonna get that?
To come down.
How are you gonna get that down?
But I need some leverage. So if I can get this in here. That's the is that going in there? There we go. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then ooh, no, that's going. Don't like that. I don't like it.
Why?
Yeah, because I'm going to break it.
You won't break it.
That's a fiddly little thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, we've got to put the flexi on.
Flexi needs to go on.
That's all on now. Right, that's the two rears on. Flexi's on, everything's all buttoned down. They're looking great. So that is all we can do on the brakes today, which is a massive shame.
Great. Pub, yeah.
Right guys, we've had a setback. Unfortunately, with all these things, when you're trying to do stuff like this, part numbers are not always clear and so on. I bought these, not those, these, in good faith from Rock Auto for a ZR-1 apparently. I don't know if you'll see this on the camera, but they don't fit, they're too small. I think these are standard C4 front brakes, so they won't actually fit over the disc. So that means that we can't get the front brakes done, which means that we can't fill the system with new fluid, and we're not going to be able to drive the car today. And we were gutted when we found that out, because we were quite looking forward to putting the new wheels on and at least moving it around the drive under its own steam. But yet again, and I know it's frustrating guys, and you have to bear with us, we can't go as far forward this week as we wanted to. We've made an executive decision on these, and we've gone to a garage that we use where we also hire the trailers from, and they do caliper refurbs, and I'm going to show you in a minute the quality of their work. It's really bloody good. And basically we're going to take the new calipers, which don't fit but the pistons are the right size, and we're going to get the caliper rebuild guy to rebuild our existing ones using the bits from these ones if they need to. If not, then we'll just take these back to Rock Auto. So yeah, I'm going to drop them off to Ash, and hopefully they'll come back shiny and new and they'll actually fit. Wouldn't that be nice?
Fingers crossed.
Take them into the office probably. As you can see, that was really frustrating. We really can't wait to get those brakes back from the brake caliper man, which I'm hoping is very soon, and we can film it for next week.
Just a bit too small.
Just a bit too small. Yeah, they're like literally like.
Assuming there's normal C4 brakes.
15 millimeters too small. I think they're actually. I can go into nerd mode now.
Yeah.
the brakes that are fitted to the ZR-1, they're an option brake called a J55, which is just slightly wider, which allows for a thicker disc. I think that is the only difference. I don't think there's any other disc difference. So
pistons look the same. It just looks like the whole caliper's been widened.
Yeah, the whole caliper's just been widened to allow for a thicker brake disc. But yeah, it means that we can't get the brakes going and we can't move the car. Next week's video will be video 100 on the channel. It'll be a nice treat for us if we get the car driving on that video. But you'll see. Stay tuned. So I'm guessing that this is the moment that you've all been waiting for. You've sat through that rather short clip of the brakes, but now Chris, what have you got in your pocket?
I can do the big reveal. I've got a piece of paper that's been folded over a few times. We're going to run through these parts, aren't we?
Yeah.
So fold them out.
Well, so the way that we're going to do this is
alternate between.
We'll share reading it out, but we've categorised the spend as follows: cost of the collection, ignition, cooling, fuel, brakes, servicing, trim, engine sensors, engine ancillaries, cost of shipping, and then finally the cost of the car and what the grand total is. So I'll let Chris kick off.
Are you going to kick, yeah?
Collection day, go on.
Oh, so collection day, when we were with Johnny Smith, we hired a trailer for a very reasonable £60, which I think is pretty reasonable, very reasonable. Not worth buying one. Why does one buy trailers? Collection and fuel getting down there, £65 to fuel the old Disco.
Or $71.
Or $71. Some lubricants, etc. that we took with us. 45, and a McDonald's on the way home, much needed. £20 again. So some snacks and McDonald's. So we spent £190 or $242 collecting the car, picking it up. Gonna go for ignition?
Ignition. So this is good actually, because it's a good recap on what we've actually done to the car. So we've changed the spark plugs, 8 Denso Iridium spark plugs, 4 ignition coils, a set of HT leads, which have been on and off the car. If you've been watching the previous episodes, you'll know that we've
tried to fault find.
Yeah, as we've been fault finding, we've been putting the old ones on and whatever. But anyway, so that's the ignition components that we've purchased. And the total for those was £195 or $250. And I'll quickly do the cooling because there's only one item, which is the thermostat, which we've not fitted yet. And the cost of the thermostat was £8 or about $10.
Pretty typical.
Yeah.
So onto the fuel system. Quite a few things here. 2 fuel pumps, £18, pretty reasonable. $23. The strainers, £4, just for the tank. A sensor gasket, so that's the thing that goes inside the top of the tank, that one? Yeah, that gasket. The sender gasket, really, I suppose, £4.
Fuel sender gasket. Yeah. Did I put sensor?
Yeah, we've got sensor written there.
Oh,
sender
right.
gasket, £4, $6.
It's the gasculator for the fuel...
Flipper, up or downer thing.
Yeah, flipper me jig.
Yeah, well, all the pumps and the level and all that kind of rubbish goes in. A Wix fuel filter, only the best, £8. And then the injectors, £310. That's unbelievable for 16 of them.
16 injectors. We think that's really good value. And South Bay Injectors, who we bought them from, super service. They came in a really nice bag, and yeah, it was a very high quality product for the money.
I mean, yeah, a 4-cylinder car could be £310 in the UK.
Yeah.
Some European cars. So £344, $438. So that's what we spent on fuel system stuff. Exciting.
Right, this is the biggie now.
Yeah, this is the biggie. Yeah.
This is the bone of contention.
Some slightly wasted money here.
Because we've actually wasted quite a bit of money here. And the trouble is, if you order the wrong parts from America,
can't send them back.
You can send them back, but the cost of postage outweighs
them away.
Yeah, it's just so we're just hanging on to the ones that we've not used. But we did purchase a full caliper repair kit for all 4 corners, which, as you know, we haven't fitted.
But might go in the new brakes.
But they might go in the new brakes. So we've given those kits to the brake guy. Flexi hoses front, flexi hoses rear, calipers front, which aren't the J55s, annoyingly. Calipers rear.
They're on the car now, as you just saw.
They are on the car. Brake discs front are on the car. Brake discs rear have been fitted as well. Pads rear, pads front. Brake lines and flaring tool. The brake fluid. And we need to add, I'm going to add another cost on here which isn't on the list, which is the caliper refurb. So that's £200 on its own. So the total spend on all of the brake components is £870 or probably about $1,100.
That's not bad for doing a lot of brake work.
Well, it's everything,
it's
isn't
everything,
it?
Yeah.
So
apart from the master cylinder.
250 quid a corner. I'm quite happy with that.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
And hopefully the master cylinder's seals are okay. We're going to be really careful when we bleed the brakes. You'll see in the next episode. We're going to use a special tool so we don't have to apply
a full swing on the pedal.
Yeah. So hopefully the master cylinder's okay, but at the moment that's still in the air. Service
stuff. So all kinds of things that you can't get away really from doing over the last 20 years. All these things will need doing. A new oil drain plug, £3. Oil filter. Again, it's a Wix, $4.50, very reasonable. An air filter, £18. Again, it's like this big, so it's a very reasonable price for a massive air filter. Accessory belt, £11. Tensioner pulley, £12. Plenum gaskets, £45 from Eurovets. Other service items, so some oils, coolants, that kind of thing. So far, £80. I think I've got some transmission fluid and some diff oil lying around in the garage that I bought for the C5 that I didn't need.
Yeah.
So I might be able to chuck that in for that. Some fuel, just to get the, after we emptied it with the old Miele, £60, so get some fuel back in it. And then tyre fitting, putting some of the more rounder tyres.
The less flat tyres.
Yeah,
They're still
not
very,
really bad.
they're still very questionable. I wouldn't want to go more than about 50 miles an hour on them.
Yeah.
But at least the car can, in theory, roll
You
around.
can roll
on
it
them.
around. It's
Yeah.
not flat on two sides like some of them are. So £45 for some tyres, so about £10 each, which is very reasonable. £285 or $360. We might actually put this on the screen.
Yeah, we'll put it on the screen.
Bing,
Yeah.
bing, bing, bing.
Yeah. Right then. So the trim we've purchased in anticipation of doing a body restoration on the car. We've already purchased all of the rubbers for the Targa hoop, the rear glass,
Jack liddy thing.
the boot lid, the trunk lid, should I say? Boot lid, I'm going to call it. Window scraper seals, which are the interior and exterior seals in between the side window glass.
Then we'll be able to put the window down for the first time at some point.
Yeah, and then the Targa, so we've got a Targa top seal, so the seals that go on the removable panel, which I did mention but didn't really elaborate on. And then a Targa hoop weather seal, which is the seal that goes around the Targa hoop. Total cost for all of those was £310 or $395. And we're not including postage on these things. The postage is going to come later.
Now, engine sensors, all incredibly reasonable really. Crank sensor, £6, unbelievably cheap, $8. O2 sensors, £42. I mean, if you're looking at a European car, quite a lot of O2 sensors are hundreds of pounds each. So to have them for £42 is unbelievable. A map sensor, £10, unbelievable again. IAC valve, £10. So in total, we've got one more sensor to add to that actually, because we've got a warning code for a cam sensor, and we're getting reliability issues. Sometimes it runs okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't start immediately and it misfires and doesn't rev properly. So with that and the code for cam sensor,
Which is code 31, if you want to look it up if you're a Corvette guy.
it just all points to it's the cam sensor,
Or it's the ECM.
which we're hoping.
Which we're really hoping it's not, because the ECM's like a difficult repair. The cam sensors are a cheap
plug-in job.
plug-in job.
So £70 on sensors, and these are things you might think, oh, why are you throwing all these things at it? But they're cheap, and you would have replaced them in 20 years anyway, probably at some point. So they need just for reliability, just to ensure we're not going to break down for the sake of a crank sensor.
Yeah, just change it.
Just change it.
Yeah.
It's £6. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So some random things. Some
Yeah, so
random
the
engine parts.
we're coming to the end of the list now, and don't worry, we're getting to the car. We will reveal the cost of the car, and I want you to pause the video now and write in the comments what you think we paid for the car, and then you'll find out how accurate you are. Alternator, £105. The blower motor, which is for the interior fan, we've not replaced it yet. It's a little bit noisy. £15. So again, it's a no-brainer. You may as well just replace it. It's a genuine one as well. And then the secondary vacuum pump, which is for the power key. So we've replaced the vacuum pump that energizes all of this vacuum system underneath the plenum that enables the full power. Cost for all of those in total £269 or $342.
Yeah, pretty good.
And this brings us on now to the shocker for us. Well, it's not really a shocker, it just makes you feel a bit sick. Cost of the shipping for all of those parts, £600 or $760, somewhere around there.
That's not including one more thing, is it?
What?
Tax. Does that include tax?
That includes taxes, yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so that's shipping and taxes. So I suppose for all of those parts, it's not too bad, but
We've
it's...
got about 4 shipments.
Yeah, but the trouble is, when you order, say you order a load of stuff from Rock Auto, if it comes in 4 boxes, you'll be billed for each individual box. So it's a little bit, it's very expensive, but when you add the shipping to the parts, it's still cheap compared to, say, Porsche or BMW or something like that, isn't it?
Much cheaper.
So really, even though I'm grumbling about it, we're quite happy. So total for all the parts and shipping is £2,941. Actually, that's wrong because we need to add the brakes on it.
And the cam sensor. So, well, I suppose not bought that yet.
No, we haven't bought that yet. So about 3,000. If we said about 3,100, or about $4,000 there and thereabouts.
Give or take.
That's about where we are on the parts. And the cost of the car. What do you think we paid for the car? So you've put me off now.
Yeah.
So the cost of the car we feel like we paid a fair price for it. Normally we try and buy, you know, try and get good value when we're purchasing cars.
Corvettes are good value.
Corvettes are amazing value, but what we didn't want to do with this one is we didn't want to make an unreasonably low offer to Will. We wanted to try and find the market value of it. Globally, I think that's difficult. Let us know what you think in the comments, but we found it very hard to value. And in the UK,
it varies country to country massively.
Yeah. In the UK, it's even more difficult to value because there's so few of them, and
only really nice ones have sold.
Yeah, only really nice ones have sold. So there's no datum. We've got no data on it. Anyway, I'll cut to the chase. Will was looking for, I think he was looking for between 10 and 12k.
Yeah.
And the price that we paid was £9,500, or about $12,000.
Which I think is probably about right for the car.
What do you think, guys? Let us know in the comments whether you think that that's a cheap price, or about
we've been ridiculous and paid way too much.
Or we've paid way too much, or it was about market value. But bear in mind, when we bought it, it had been sat for 18 years, and the engine was totally unknown. We hadn't even heard it turn over. You saw the video with Johnny Smith.
Covered in mould and lichens and all kinds of things.
We were taking a big chance on it, but we thought that the price was fair. So the grand total for everything, so parts, car, delivery, shipping, tax, everything, £12,441, or just under $16,000.
That's not too bad for a ZR-1 that almost moves.
No, it almost moves. So that brings us to the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a short one mechanically. We didn't really achieve too much with the brakes, but join us next week and hopefully the car will move under its own steam. It's going to be video 100 on the channel. Obviously not video 100 on the Corvette.
Hopefully it's running well by then.
But yeah, hopefully so. But yeah, we really appreciate your support. We love that you're joining us on our journey. And as always, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you subscribe, because it really helps us, and it
eggs us on.
It eggs us on, but what it also does is enables the algorithm to show the video to more people, and generally people seem to be enjoying it. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next week, 5 p.m. Sunday, as scheduled.
UK time. Summertime.
Cheers. It's not summertime at all. It's meant to be summertime, but the weather's absolutely shite.
Stuff her face with crisps.